When I came to Montreal, Circuit Jacques Villeneuve, yeah, I loved it. Me and Kim fell in love with the French atmosphere, eating at the restaurants downtown Montreal, and actually going to a restaurant and getting to go out on the porch. It was so much fun, and you know the French are such sexy people anyway. They're in love up and down the streets. Yeah, I'd say that's the way I am. I'm very open. What do I think of racing in the rain? I don't mind it. It's just everybody else runs into me. Jesus. I'm like, okay, it's raining. We're going to have to slow up a little bit. My little nephew came and just killed me. He just run all over me, knocked my car out. We were running 7th with like 2 laps to go and ended up 17th. But we love going to Montreal. It is a blast. We really do. Yes, sweetheart in the yellow. What'd she say? How many accidents have I had? Well, let me think. You are not going to believe this, but on a stack of Bibles, it's the truth. I have only had 1 car accident in my whole life. Car, like passenger car. And it was the worst timing in my life. I was going to my brother Mike's wedding in my tuxedo, driving his wife's car and wrecked it. Carla Wallace. I was driving her car, and I was following back in the day. You know, people, they're not as famous anymore. But a pickup truck with a camper shell on it, and on a 2-lane road, and I kept peeking out because it was going so slow. So I peeked out one more time to pass it, and when I did, the left front hit a Camaro's, and it spun it around, went into a creek, and it was horrible. And all my buddies made fun of me because that was a road I kind of grew up on. And there I was, and back in the day, I had a big old afro. And so they're like, Wallace, you wrecked. But now on the racetrack, probably the worst wreck of my career was right here. Loudon has been the best of my career and the worst of my career. Of course, I won the 1991 Bud 300, and then that's where my fan following started. And I've had a second place in 2000, 99 or 2000 right here in the Square D Cup car. And I absolutely love this race. But, if I wouldn't have thought about it and I went to a therapist, sports therapist, to help me out a little bit, this could be the place that could have ended my career. I went flying down the back straightaway and broke the left rear trailer arm out when I was leading the championship in 1991 over Bobby Labonte. And I hit the wall horribly, knocked me out, and I heard somebody going, Kenny, Kenny. I looked up and I was laying on the racetrack, and I had a positional vertigo. That was the worst wreck of my life. And then it wasn't until about 3-4 years later I realized how lucky I was, because it's the same place that Kenny Irwin and Adam Petty got killed. So I hit that wall, and I lived. Just knocked me out and really messed me up a little bit. That was the worst wreck I've ever had, was right here in Loudon. So I had to really make sure that I learned to keep loving Loudon, because it pretty much ruined my career, knocked me out for a while, cost me the championship, and I really wanted one of those championship rings bad. I had a 190-point lead, and it was that corner that cost me. Well, we did it ourselves because a weld broke on the rear end, and that was the day when you had 6 employees and everybody did everything on their own, and you kind of backyard, I'm going to see. Some of my worst wrecks were in an AS8 car in Senaire up towards Montreal. Man, I blew a motor there and center punched the wall one time. And I've hit some walls pretty hard that have made me go, like that. Seen stars a couple times. But I'll never forget Ricky Craven's quote to me. We're very good friends. Ricky lives right down by us, and we talk a lot. And about 3 years ago, Craven said, Herm, he said, there'll be a day we look back and go, holy crap, can you believe when we would wreck, we would run into concrete walls, So it's pretty morbid to think that, God, these soft walls are just awesome. I mean, you hit them sometimes, it's like hitting a pack of marshmallows. So You know, to think that we were so barbaric that when we run into a concrete wall. It's like, wow, why did they put walls up? Why couldn't we just run into a sand barrier? Or, you know, something like that. So yeah, I have some pretty good maps. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
How's your brothers, Mike and Rusty?
How are my brothers Mike and Rusty? I'll get to you next. Rusty is doing great. He's still learning. He's still learning how to be Rusty after racing. You know, it's very hard because he is great, and I call him God, as of course you know. I always tell him how good he is to keep him pumped up. It's very hard on an athlete, you know, very hard on a great athlete when they don't get attention anymore. But he's doing good. Obviously, he's working for ABC, ESPN. My brother Mike, you've seen him out there today in the yellow car, number 01. He's doing good. Of course, my nephew Steven, we're rooting him on big time because, you know, him and Chrissy, you know, my brother Mike's daughter, they're the ones that are going to be racing when we're done. So we're hoping that Chrissy gets some money and she can keep racing. But the whole family's doing really good. Yeah, I'm really excited. Things are going good. A couple more questions. Yes, you right there.
How long has your brother been dirt racing?
How long have I been dirt racing?
No, your brother.
Well, I think I call Kenny Schrader my brother. So he's really not my brother. But I call him my brother.
Brother from another mother.
He's my brother from another mother. Right. Very well put. Yeah. I've been dirt racing for 5 years. I'm just learning it. But I tell you what, I've won a whole bunch of them. We're getting to where we can race these guys. And I'm racing guys that do it for a living. Kenny Schrader's probably won or ran 2,000 dirt races. He's got lots of wins. And he races every week. Just because you don't see my brother Kenny Schrader here anymore doesn't mean that he still races every single week. Yes, right there. Yes, in the gray. Gary.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you want a question?
Yes, I'd like to know why Kenny didn't take Brian's place during his little blood.
Why who didn't take his place?
Why Kenny Schrader didn't take Brian Vicker's place?
Why Kenny Schrader didn't take Brian Vicker's place? Because Kenny's 55 years old. And age doesn't matter, but when you, corporate America sometimes, like that Red Bull sponsor, it's kind of a young man's sponsor. You know, jump out of airplanes and, you know, things like that. Kenny Schrader could definitely have drove that car very well. But sometimes when you get to a certain age, you know, people think differently of you. So Kenny Schrader had the best quote. He would never tell you his age, but he stunned me a couple weeks ago. He says, Herm, he said, I won the feature the other night at Peebly, and I turned 55 years old. And I looked at him, I said, man, you never let me know when it's your birthday. But he won a feature on his birthday, so he let me know. Yeah, that's only the reason I know his age, you know. But he certainly doesn't act his age. He's got a lot of energy. And I think that that's pretty much it. In the Sprint Cup series, that's such a big series. People demand you have youth and, you know, the best it could be. But he's definitely deserving of the ride, but he's just of age now. And I think that's the way they look at it. Anyone? Yes, right here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Big Bobby Labonte fan.
Yes, so last year you gave me advice on how to do that work.
On girls? All right. He said I gave him advice on girls and it worked. Well, hell yeah. Here's my chick. See here? Awesome. What's the question?
What do you think about Bobby changing his sponsor, quitting his team?
Basically, you're wanting to know about Bobby Labonte needing a sponsor and the whole Bobby Labonte saga, I guess you could say. First of all, Bobby was what, the 2001 Winston Cup champion, is that right? Right, 2001. Bobby Labonte is a dear, well, anyway, he won the championship. 2002? Okay, he's a past champion, and he's a great race car driver. When that TRG team came in to NASCAR, I thought, okay, TRG is a big-time road course team. You know, they put a lot of money into road course racing. And I thought, well, they're going to do it right. But I'm going to tell you something. When I realized that they start and park for the first time at Dover, I kind of perked my ears up and I said, wow, I want to see how Bobby handles this, because I would never start and park, because first of all, you do what you have to do. If you're broke and you have no money, you start and park because that's what you do for a living. Bobby Labonte should never start and park because he's a champion and he's a winner. And so he felt that they asked him, we're going to do this a couple, 2-3 times. And then they made it clear to him, we're going to start starting and parking. And that's when he said, I'm done. So Bobby right now, all I want to see Bobby do is make his 600th start at Daytona. That's important to me. I'm sure it's important to him. So I just wish Bobby the best of luck. Unfortunately, he's like me. He's in his 40s. And that's hard to get people to want to love you anymore in the Cup Series when you're 46 years old. He's a great race car driver. He's my good friend. I really care for him. But he's just on a journey now. We won't know what happens. And, it's hard to find $15 million to run up front now. It's really hard.
So you driving Robbie Gordon's car tomorrow?
Yes, he's driving Robbie Gordon's car tomorrow. Exactly. Robbie went to Argentina. And so Bobby's driving here, his 599th start, and then he's driving Daytona, I think, in James Finch's car, right, the 09. So that's going to be real important. And then I think he's going to drive James Finch's car 2 more times, and then we're going to see how it goes. But I wish him the best of luck. But always remember, for Bobby Labonte to get back the way he used to be, it's going to take a $15 million sponsor. I was hoping Bobby could get in that Red Bull car. There was talk of that, but never did work. Yes, 2 more questions. In the yellow hat.
Do you think Dr. Bonnie and Robbie Gordon connected on the car team?
I think the whole Bobby Labonte, Robbie Gordon thing is wonderful, but they both share one common situation. They don't have no money. Robbie Gordon announced he was getting ready to go to start and park. And then when he found out about Bobby Labonte, he said, well, hell, drive my car. They were going to start and park that car here this week, the number 7 Robbie Gordon car. Yeah, well, it's a tough scenario right now. We had 7 Cup cars pull off the track at Pocono.